Let me see yourself, me.
It's that me. Let's see what about them. Let's shoot herself.
People, Lou. Just stop, Lou.
Nobody's running me crazy this Sunday. Nobody's running me crazy this Sunday. So I'm telling y'all now, this is when things get crazy. Thursday, don't start blowing my line up. Y'all are not going to drive me crazy this week. I have so much going on. You guys have today. You guys have tomorrow. You guys have Wednesday. So I'm telling y'all now.
Crime Watch. Out in Scott, where two men are under arrest in the murder of a well-known businesswoman stemming from what was apparently a domestic dispute. The victim is 40-year-old Lulu Carter. The Scott woman was the owner of two businesses in downtown Lafayette.
What are you accomplishing by doing all of this? Why are you doing all this? What are you accomplishing by doing it? Why, Lou?
That's what the fuck you do.
Please, Lou. Please.
That's Lulu Carter's voice you just heard. And no, this isn't some random argument caught on camera. This is the sound of a woman who had everything going for her, standing in the middle of chaos she didn't create but got pulled into anyway. December 30th, 2025, Scott, Louisiana. A successful Black businesswoman gets gunned down in broad daylight. And when I say broad daylight, I mean 2:30 in the afternoon. Not in some dark alley, not at night, in the middle of the day. Her name was Lulu Carter, 40 years old, owner of multiple businesses, known all over Lafayette for her lounges, her hustle, her style. The kind of woman who made things happen. But somebody decided her time was up. Two men got arrested. One of them, the father of her child. The other, his accomplice. And the streets started talking immediately. Was it jealousy? Was it revenge? Was it that heated argument caught on video where she tore up his house? Listen, this story has layers. So let's get into it. Lulu wasn't just some random person. She was that girl in Lafayette. You know the type. The one everybody knows. The one making moves while others are making excuses. Born March 29th, 1985 in Maringouin, Louisiana, to Herbert and Florence Carter. Graduated from Pointe Coupee Central High School in 2003. Star athlete, dance team captain, basketball team captain, volleyball, track and field. She did it all. Got basketball scholarships, got track scholarships. LSU wanted her. University of Louisiana wanted her. She had options. But Lulu's real gift? Business. She saw opportunities where other people saw empty buildings. She turned ideas into income. And girl, let me tell you something. She didn't do it quietly either. You'd see her on local TV talking about her ventures. She opened Bliss Cocktail Lounge on Jefferson Street in downtown Lafayette. Then she opened French 75 Bar and Lounge on McKinley. Before that, she had boutiques, hair salons, barbershops. The woman stayed working. Here's what made Bliss different, though. It wasn't just another spot to grab drinks. Lulu brought something Lafayette hadn't seen before. On the local news, she explained it herself.
Going to the city and other places like Houston, and I would go to these lounges and nightclubs, and they would have like these lobster tails and lamb chops and things like that. And I said, you know what? Lafayette doesn't have anything like that. Nightclub-wise, food, maybe hot dogs or pizza. Mm-hmm. So we decided to go out on a limb and try it and brand it, and it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Customer reaction?
They love it. Most people say, oh my God, I've never tried lamb, or I have tried lamb. It tastes wild, but Bliss, these lamb chops are amazing. I've never tasted anything like it before.
Okay, July.
That's the kind of impact she had. She wasn't copying what everyone else was doing. She was setting trends. And if you followed her on social media, you already know.
Okay, you guys, breaking news. We now have $600 sections here. These sections are $600. They come with 4 bands. We had too many complaints about big sections. Now we have smaller sections. If you need one, tap.
She had energy. She had personality. She made you feel like you were part of something. But hey, running multiple businesses isn't easy. And Lulu didn't stop at lounges. She got into real estate too. She was appointed coordinator for Hub City Plaza, the old Northgate Mall in Lafayette. Her job? Help revitalize it. Turn it into something new. Give local businesses opportunities. She even made videos walking people through available retail spaces. Hi, you guys. This is Lou with the Hub. Listen, no one can make a better deal than me. I'm going to take you guys around and show you guys a few spaces, retail spaces, prime location, that are actually available. Like this woman was everywhere. Fashion, food, real estate, nightlife. She wasn't just about one thing. She was building an empire. And through it all, she was a mother. Her son Kingston was her world. She traveled with him, celebrated him, posted about him. You could tell just from her social media that being his mom was what mattered most. Lulu had it going on. Successful, independent, respected in her community, a Black woman doing big things in Louisiana. But here's where things get complicated. Every empire has cracks. And for Lulu, that crack was her relationship with her son's father, James Michael Joseph. Now, I'm not about to sit here and pretend I know every detail of their relationship. Nobody does except them. But what we do know is that things were rocky. Real rocky. People close to Lulu said there was tension in the weeks leading up to her death. Arguments, disagreements, heated exchanges. And then there's the video, the one that went viral. The one where Lulu is inside what appears to be James's house, and she's tearing it up. You can hear someone in the background saying, "Such a beautiful home. Such a beautiful home. This is not okay."
It's that Lou. She had those things about them. She shoot herself.
People, Lou. Just stop, Lou. What are you doing? What are you accomplishing by doing all of this? Why are you doing all this? What are you accomplishing by doing it? Why, Lou?
That's what the fuck you do.
Please, Lou. Please.
I don't know what led to that moment. I don't know what James did that pushed Lulu to that point. What I do know is that this wasn't just some small disagreement. This was pain. This was anger. This was someone who felt wronged and decided to make a statement. The streets started speculating immediately. Some people said James must have done something terrible to make Lulu react like that. Others wondered if destroying his property was going to come back on her. Turned out it did, just not in the way anyone expected. Moving on to what happened next, because this is where everything falls apart. December 30th, 2025, around 2:30 in the afternoon. Officers in Scott, Louisiana got a call about gunfire on the 800 block of Delome Avenue. When police arrived at Lulu's home, they found her suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Let me repeat that. Multiple gunshot wounds. In broad daylight. At her own house. Paramedics rushed her to a nearby hospital. Doctors tried everything they could, but Lulu Carter didn't make it. The news hit the community like a bomb. Social media exploded with tributes, condolences, prayers.
A local business owner, entrepreneur, tragically lost their life on social media. Condolences of prayer and peace for Lulu Carter.
People couldn't believe it. This was Lulu, the woman who was just on Facebook Live days ago promoting her events, the woman who was running multiple businesses, the woman who was raising her son. Gone. News stations scrambled to cover the story.
A business community in shock and many heartbroken by the sudden loss of 40-year-old Lulu Carter. Carter was known for her many ventures, including the Bliss Lounge on Jefferson Street and the French 75 Bar and Lounge on McKinley, both located in downtown Lafayette. One person referred to her as a fashionista due to her unique style. They noted she always dressed to impress, even when dressing down. A person called her business-oriented, loved to travel, and God-fearing. One person even told News 10 that Carter, as a black female entrepreneur, was able to overcome numerous hurdles to successfully establish a thriving club in downtown Lafayette. One person even said that there was still so much more to come from Carter.
But now, there wouldn't be anything more. Her story was over. Her businesses would close. Her son would grow up without his mother. And somebody had to answer for it. So now the police have a murder scene. A businesswoman shot dead at her own home, and the clock is ticking. Scott Police Department immediately started working the case. They cordoned off Delome Avenue, crime scene tape everywhere, shell casings marked, evidence photographed, neighbors interviewed. The whole neighborhood was on edge. People heard the commotion that afternoon, but nobody knew exactly what happened. Just gunshots, then sirens, then the news that Lulu was gone. Detectives started piecing things together, and it didn't take long for them to zero in on a suspect. See, here's the thing about domestic situations. They leave a trail. Arguments don't just happen in a vacuum. There are witnesses, there are videos, there are text messages, there's a pattern. And in Lulu's case, that pattern pointed straight to James Michael Joseph. Remember that video of Lulu destroying his house? That wasn't ancient history. That was recent. The tension between them wasn't cooling down. It was heating up. Law enforcement started looking at James closely. His relationship with Lulu, the custody issues with their son, the arguments people witnessed, the property damage incident. But they needed more than just speculation. They needed evidence. They needed proof. And apparently, they found it. Because within days of Lulu's death, police made their move. The news broke fast.
We start out in Scott, where two men are under arrest in the murder of a well-known businesswoman stemming from what was apparently a domestic dispute. The two men charged in her murder are 44-year-old James Joseph and 49-year-old Jesse Alfred Jr. Police say Joseph was the father of the victim's child, and others who knew the pair say they had a rocky relationship. Joseph, who police say pulled the trigger, is being held in the Lafayette Parish Jail without bond. Alfred, meanwhile, who's charged as an accomplice, has been released after posting bail.
Let that sink in. The father of Lulu's child, arrested for her murder. And he didn't do it alone. He had help. The news stations laid it all out.
Police say Joseph was the father of the victim's child, and others who knew the pair say they had a rocky relationship. Joseph, who police say pulled the trigger, is being held in the Lafayette Parish Jail without bond.
Without bond. That means the judge looked at this case and said, "Nah, you're not going anywhere." Meanwhile, Jesse Alfred Jr. posted bail and walked out. His role? Accomplice. Whatever he did to help James, it was enough to catch a charge, but apparently not enough to keep him locked up. Now, police haven't released every single detail about what happened that day. They haven't spelled out exactly how the murder went down. They haven't publicly shared the full motive. But here's what people are saying. The streets have their theories. Jealousy, resentment. A woman who was doing better than her baby daddy could stand. A man who couldn't handle seeing his ex shine while he stayed in the same place. Some people online said James was jealous of Lulu's success. She had multiple businesses. She was on TV. She was making moves. And him? He was watching from the sidelines. Others pointed to the house destruction video and said maybe it was revenge for that. Maybe he felt embarrassed. Maybe he wanted payback. But here's the reality. Nobody knows for sure, except the people involved. What we do know is this. Lulu is dead. James is behind bars. And a little boy lost both his parents. As of now, no trial date has been set. No pleas have been entered. The case is still working its way through the system. But the community already has its verdict, period. When the headlines fade and the court dates drag on and the social media posts slow down, what's left is a family destroyed. Lulu Carter wasn't just a murder victim, she was a person. A mother who took her son Kingston everywhere, who traveled with him, who posted about him constantly because he was her pride and joy. A daughter to Herbert and Florence Carter, who had to bury their child. No parent should ever have to do that. A businesswoman who employed people, who created spaces for her community, who brought something to Lafayette that nobody else was offering. A Black woman who didn't wait for permission or for someone to give her a seat at the table. She built her own table. Then she built another one, and another one. People depended on her. Employees counted on her businesses for income. Customers loved her lounges. Entrepreneurs looked to her for mentorship. And now, all of that is gone. Her businesses, Bliss and French 75, closed after her death. The Style Loft closed. All those dreams, all those plans for Hub City Plaza, finished. But more than anything, there's Kingston, a little boy who will grow up without his mother. Without his father, too, because James is sitting in jail facing a murder charge. One person who works with grieving children in schools talked about how hard this is going to be for him. She told a story about another student whose mother was murdered and how that trauma follows you forever. How it shows up in unexpected ways. How a simple thing like the smell of perfume can trigger a breakdown because it reminds you of what you lost. That's what Kingston is facing. Years of grief. Years of wondering why. Years of growing up with the weight of this tragedy. Make it make sense. How does a child process losing both parents at the same time? How does a family move forward when violence tears them apart like this? The answer is, they don't move forward easily. They carry it, every day, forever. Lulu's legacy isn't just the businesses she built or the events she hosted. It's the son she raised. It's the example she set. It's the proof that a Black woman from Louisiana can create something meaningful from nothing. May her son grow up knowing how hard she worked for him. May her family find some kind of peace, even though justice can never bring her back. May her name be remembered for more than the violence that took her away. And may we all learn something from this. Love shouldn't hurt. Relationships shouldn't end in gunfire. Success shouldn't make you a target. Lulu Carter deserved better. Her son deserved better. And somewhere in Lafayette, there are people who will never forget the woman who brought lamb chops to the club scene, who went live on Facebook like she was talking to friends, who hustled harder than anyone around her. That's who Lulu was. Not a headline, not a statistic, not just another domestic violence case. A person, a mother, a dreamer, a doer. Gone too soon. Rest in peace, Lulu Carter.